Breaking news out of Fort Worth today. On the very first day of school for Fort Worth ISD, O.D. Wyatt High School is under lockdown. This after investigators say a student took a photo with a gun while on campus. Our Brittany Costello is on scene right now, and Brittany will start off with the most important question that we ask in situations like this. Does it look right now like everyone is safe?
It certainly does, and Fort Worth ISD wanted to stress that there were no threats to students or staff, and within the last few minutes it appears that the lockdown has been lifted. We're starting to see some students walk out of the school, but yes, I talked to a parent waiting in the pickup line here and who said this is not the first day that they expected or that they wanted. They got a text message saying that a student had taken a picture of himself holding a gun on campus. You can see some of the police officers still right in front of the school here. Within the last hour or so, we've seen a couple more arrive. We've seen some officers circling the campus, but they say that they have detained 5 individuals. One of those individuals was a student who had posted that picture. Now, I wanted to show you what we saw from Chopper a little bit earlier, a couple hours earlier today. Take a look at that. You can see officers surrounding an SUV in a parking lot near the school. It looks like they are going through that vehicle. You can see some doors opening and officers looking inside. Now, again, I want to stress Fort Worth ISD says at no point were students or staff threatened. In fact, everyone is safe, and it appears that everyone is now exiting from the school. Of course, there are still parents waiting for their student, but thankfully many of them I spoke with say they were communicating with their loved one who said, we're just sitting in class, everything is okay, but of course this investigation is far from over. Back to you guys.
All right, we will keep following the latest on that. Good to hear that everybody's okay, though. Brittany, thank you for that. Also new at 4 today, WFAA has just learned the identity of the suspect who police say shot Dallas ISD police officer Justin Jones last week. Sources identified the man as 27-year-old Jose Pantoja Morales. According to jail paperwork obtained by WFAA, he is listed as being in the country illegally. He's being held right now on a $500,000 bond. According to an arrest affidavit that was obtained by WFAA exclusively, a friend of Pantoja Morales flagged down Officer Jones, saying his coworker had gotten out of his car on the LBJ freeway and was walking in the middle of the median. Officer Jones found him and put him in the back of his squad car, then drove him to a Walmart Sam's parking lot. The arrest affidavit says the suspect began pulling things out of Officer Jones's work bag. The officer got out of the car, opened the back door, and the 2 men struggled, the document says. The affidavit goes on to say that the suspect managed to get Officer Jones' weapon and shot him in the right leg, hitting his femoral artery. Pantoja Morales was arrested later at gunpoint. We'll keep following that and bring you more too as we get more in that one. All right, quick break from the news here now to talk about weather. We're starting off another work week, fully in the throes of August here, and it feels like it out there, Cassie.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's been cranked up, that thermostat.
Yeah, and it's been staying there.
Yeah.
It really hasn't moved a whole lot. Temperatures made it back to 100 degrees this weekend, and so far today I've seen 99. I haven't seen 100 degrees yet, but that doesn't. Yeah, absolutely. That is very much a possibility. And I suspect that we will probably do that. In fact, tomorrow, I think that we'll definitely hit 100 degrees. The heat index easily over 100 degrees, which is why a heat advisory has already been issued for parts of North Texas tomorrow. It does include all of the Metroplex. It's from noon to 8 because that feel-like temperature could reach up to about 108 degrees. In the meantime, it's beautiful outside. You just don't want to be out in it for very long. This is our WFAA Studios Dallas camera. Temperatures right now in the mid-90s, the wind out of the south at 10 miles an hour. We are up to 100 degrees in Fort Worth, 101 in Mineral Wells, 97 right now in Greenville. Satellite and radar very quiet. We've had a few of those fair weather cumulus clouds today. We're going to stay plenty warm this evening and overnight, eventually dropping down into the upper 70s tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about how long these triple digits are expected to last coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Cassie. We will check in here again in just a bit. Right now, we are getting an update from the Dallas Police Department on 2 separate shootings involving officers. The first happening Friday on Park Lane. Police say a man attacked a woman with a knife, then ran away after an officer shot at him. The suspect later turned himself in. He is charged with aggravated assault and burglary. The second shooting involved a carjacking suspect on Williamstown Road. No one was hurt in that one. The suspect was taken into custody. We, again, are getting that update. We'll have more information about both of these shootings coming up at 5 and 6 o'clock in just a little while. Today, new questions about whether negotiations to end the war with Iran can even move forward and whether the Strait of Hormuz can reopen again. Iran now making sweeping demands, and some experts say the terms amount to a non-starter. ABC's Olivia Rubin has what those demands might mean for the talks ahead.
This morning, sweeping new demands from Iran in exchange for reopening the Strait of Hormuz, saying they won't do so until the United States, quote, corrects its behavior. Iran demanding the U.S. lift its naval blockade and sanctions on Iran, withdraw troops from around the country, reimburse Iran for the cost of the war, and release Iranian assets.
They clearly feel like they're in the driver's seat, and they feel like they can put demands out there that essentially they know the United States can't and wouldn't accept.
It raises new questions after Trump last week said a deal with Iran to reopen the critical waterway was imminent.
It could be said.
But now, in an interview with Axios, Trump's saying they are only, quote, semi-negotiating with them. And the president notably has not made any new military threats, at least not publicly, instead appearing to focus on economic pressures. And Trump had previously threatened massive strikes against Iran, warning that this round of negotiations would be their last chance. Now, no word on where the president might go from here. Olivia Rubin, ABC News, Washington.
All right, it is time now.
Jason.
Hey, Stacia.
I'm sorry. I had a few accidents and they were clearing up and I was trying to update my map.
When you said you had a few accidents,
Yeah.
that sounded terrible.
Well,
Okay, so
and I
on the map.
almost had one
Okay.
on the way over here, but
But they're clearing.
Yeah, and so
Good
I
news.
just wanted to make sure y'all had the most up-to-date information.
This
and
just in, Stacia.
Literally.
Just in.
And so, okay, so what we're watching right now, 75, 635, that's one of the areas that cleared. I'll go through a couple cameras because these accidents, we were seeing extensive backups. So 35E at Beltline, no major accidents there, but we did have one here, I-20 at 310. And you wouldn't think it by looking at this camera now, but you can still see that traffic that's backing up as a result. So this is affecting I-20 eastbound as you're heading toward 310. Right around the Hutchins area. So that traffic behind this collision, although this intersection looks good now, it's going to take a little while for it to pan out. Same situation with Central Expressway. We had an accident on the southbound side that really backed things up through Richardson that just cleared. It was right there just south of LBJ. And so that traffic is still easing out as well. One area we're watching where traffic is heavier, but we're not seeing any major problems, is right around the DeSoto area along 35E. You can see our camera from Beltline. You can see it's slower on the southbound side, but again, no problems there. You just have slow traffic. But hey, school's back for most of these districts now, and you can definitely tell on the roads. Jason?
All right, if you get anything more, Stacia, just run on in.